It's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll.
So today is the 1st of November, and I am excited for all the things that are happening this month. And I did go out yesterday and gather in some more zinnia seeds, and this time I put them in individual envelopes so that I could have some where if I want just choice of red or pink, or if I want this particular combination of color, I just have to go to these particular envelopes, and there we'll have them. So that makes me feel better that I got that done, and I'm going to try to go out today and get some of the smaller container sizes perfusion zinnia seeds in. I also finished my book that I was telling you about, and I enjoyed it. I hope you will get a chance to enjoy it too. I think sometimes we're just all trying to be like everybody else so much that people forget or don't realize. It's just that they don't realize sometimes what people do, what they do for the Lord, how they stand for the testimony of the Lord and what He put in their hearts to do. So lots of times you just don't think even about a person maybe being a Christian until they start talking to you, and then they have a testimony of how they found God and the grace of God in their lives and what they did because He put something in their heart to do. Look at this lovely yellow mum. It finally bloomed. It took it a little longer because it was a little bit in the shade, but it looks great today. Of course, this is one of the zinnias. You'll notice one is missing right here, and that's because I took that one for seed. Aren't these beautiful? Just big, kind of flat, and just so large and beautiful. This little mum has opened up to the point, I think it's kind of at that after I was telling you about when just a few days ago it was just all in the budding stage, and now several of them have opened. Look at this beautiful Mexican heather this morning. I'll hate to lose this, but I probably will. I've never had a lot of luck with bringing them in, nor a lot of room to bring anything more in, so a lot of this will just be gone. But we're getting to enjoy it a lot longer than I thought we might when we had those 2 chances of a freeze early on in October, and today is November the 1st, as I mentioned, and we still have color in the garden. And I don't want to neglect the garden or my YouTube channel, and I want to share as much of it as I can with you, but I definitely have to get busy cooking, and I hope to do something today, at least get the Christmas candies that I make ready to go, and then I can put those aside and start on some of the main things that I make for my sister. And I still have been having I thought I was over the effects of the COVID shot, but then I actually got sick again, and I don't know if it's that or if something else is going on, but whatever, it was causing me some stress, a lot of stress, and just not feeling well at all. So I got over it once and had a day and a half feeling good, and then it just came right back, and I've been just dealing with it ever since. But right now I feel good, and I'm going to try to take advantage of that and get something done today. Look at this array of beautiful blooms, the zinnias and the chrysanthemums. As well as this one. I just went right over from this to this, and it's got the pretty pink Strawberry Fields Gomphrena globe flower in the back, and then I love this color of marigold, this bright pretty yellow, and then the pretty purplish mum or mauve colored mum beneath it. I definitely want to come out and get more of these seed so that I can have them in other places maybe next year. And I don't want all these seed dropping there, because then I'll be having a job just to get them out of there, because I don't want so many that they can't grow big and pretty and just choke each other out or just become invasive. I don't want either of those things happening. But just look, a plant that can get invasive, if it's not invasive, is just a beauty, just a gorgeous beauty. And there are definitely things I need to go ahead and glue back. When I moved things around, I knocked some things loose. So the Gorilla Glue does wonderful for these type of things, but even it gets brittle and sometimes can just break off with a little pressure on it. So I need to set this little cherub back up. And just several places I've noticed in the garden that I need to do that. But honestly, I could stay out here all day, every day, and never get caught up. And I'd always want to do something else. And I've absolutely got to let it go enough to get what I do for my sisters. Well, it's all of our family reunion, and it's a very important day for us, and she does wonderful getting it all together, and I just want to continue on to be a part of that as long as I can. Look at this little array. This was just a little green mounded of mum for a long time, and now it's just popping out everywhere in beautiful color and filling this up. So we don't want to miss the mums just because it's going to go away soon and we have many other things to do, but we've just got to enjoy them. And for me, taking a picture of them and enjoying them later is a better way, so that I can enjoy them longer, and hopefully you'll get to enjoy them too. And one of my next jobs in the garden is to trim back my the short zinnias. These are profusion zinnias, and these I think are all single, but they do come in a double profusion zinnia too. I love them both, but I want to be sure and get some of these for seed also, although these have a ways to go. And I could even leave them there until after they all turn brown and just use them as a mixed packet. But I probably will want to go ahead and make several little packages where I'll know what color I have, in case I want to be specific about a color in the garden next summer, because I'll definitely want to do that in some areas, even though I do love just to be surprised sometimes too. When I last trimmed these off, I did just I just put them all in the same bag, and just so it'll be definitely a mixed combination of plants. But I do want to come out and get these, and when I took these off, I thought, well, they probably won't make that many again, but you can see they definitely have, which is great. And also you can tell this one is the double these are the double blooms, whereas of course these are the single blooms, but they're both beautiful, and I just want some of all of them, of course. And I want these little yellow. You can see that they're on they're just a little different than these, but they're still on a short stem. They're not much taller. Sometimes they do get a little bit taller, but these have stayed a pretty short size, perfect for containers. And I love this soft yellow. If I had a favorite color, this would be my favorite color, but of course I love them all. My little bells of Ireland are just that little bitty, so I don't know if they will actually make seed for me. They have been, but they've also been tall and put on quite a bit of seed. You can tell there actually is a little bloom right there. So they may put me down some seed for next year and come up big and beautiful. I'm hoping they do. I really don't want to lose them. I'd like to keep them in the garden and get them going in different places if that would be possible. I'm hoping that I will have some to come up in this pot in the spring. I usually do, but I don't see any sign of them right now, but that may be a good thing because I want them to be there to come up in the spring. And they do not last all season long, but they also do put seed down and come up again. So if they have time to make bloom and then that drop and make a seed for you, that's a really good thing. But that's kind of iffy with the kind of weather we usually have. But I'm still hoping that we get those chances of them to drop seed, come up in the spring, and we'll be enjoying them again. And it doesn't look like much right now, but I put this little mum in this pot, and I'm hoping it will grow there and live. So if not, I'll try again in the spring. But look how pretty it is, even though it's kind of droopy right now. But if it were not just newly put in, I think it would just be standing up and looking great. You certainly have to have a little vision, for things, because they're not always just what they will be. But also sometimes your visions don't become like you had them in your mind's eye. But that's certainly no reason not to try, because sometimes they do become like you had envisioned them, and sometimes they're even more beautiful. I was noticing that this little chrysanthemum is also in bloom now, and I don't know if it'll have time, but look, there's also a couple of rose buds that may open up and bloom and be beautiful. And the little verbena is looking bright and beautiful this morning. Look at the alyssum. This is what it does in the fall. So if you can just save it through, excuse me, because I had to smash another. I'm still fighting these cucumber bugs, and I need to spray again for sure, because until it freezes, they're going to be out here evidently, and I don't want that. They will totally eat my mums up. But I was saying this is a good example of what the alyssum does if you can make it through the summer, because they don't like summer's heat, but when it gets cool, they will take off and shine for you. One year, my mums consisted of nothing but that little deep golden yellow. All of this beautiful, the little pale yellow petals were all taken away by those green bugs. They can just proliferate and destroy so quickly, and so I'm going to try to prevent that if at all possible. And I know there's another sack that I've been trying to not show you so much of, but they're beginning to be everywhere, and I've got to put more on. That's because we're coming to that season when it's going to be more important to take care of things than it is to be showing pictures of them so that we can have them next year in the garden. But there's never a time to just let the garden totally go and miss everything. You wouldn't want to miss this balloon flower showing the perfect little blossom that it has, right along with how it looks and why it's called a balloon flower, because you see those little balloon like on either side of it, and they will burst open too if we have time before a frost and make it even more bloom. And now the pretty mums are in the background for what's left in the containers, and this one just happens to still be pretty full of beautiful blooms and color. Nor would you want to miss the way the sunlight lightens up the greens and just makes all the color look like you're looking through a stained glass window. God's beauty is the best. Look at these soft, pretty pink blossoms up against this little girl. Isn't that pretty? I think my little strawberry pyramid, or what started out to be strawberries, is fuller of petunias right now than it has been all season long. And the sun shining on this pretty red is really bringing out its beauty too today. And while I know I have other things to do and I need to get busy and I want to get busy doing those other things, but also, you know, the workman is worthy of his hire, and it would be such a shame to be out here in the heat and keep this alive for a day like today. How beautiful it is. I don't even need a sweater, and yet there's a gentle breeze and just a wonderful time to be in the garden. So I don't want to miss that either. Look at this. This twin spur is just blooming like crazy and hasn't done anything but live. But hey, that's always a good thing. It has lived, and it is looking so pretty. This one's trailing over here into this other little pot. You can see that a lot of it is gone, but the part that made it is just so beautiful. Look at this. Just the greenery is healthy and beautiful, and then these beautiful blooms are just, of course, like the cherry on top. So pretty. So when it's my time to enjoy the garden, because I can enjoy the weather, it's also time to do other things. This is one of those other things. I need to get these in if I want these in the garden again, and I do. Look at that beauty. Even when it's dying, it's beautiful. So I want this one for seed. I want to mark it and be able to have it in the garden next year. I want my sister's Thanksgiving reunion dinner to be a success, and I want to be a part of that success. So if the Lord will give me health enough, I'm going to get with it. But I'm thanking Him right now for the time to enjoy a few moments of a beautiful day that He made. These are more of the beautiful marigolds. I still think those yellow are my favorite, but there's certainly nothing wrong with this beauty either. Or this little darker one. Look how this is still turning. Still getting all those beautiful fall colors in there. Even while lots of things are dying. This is one where I did go ahead and get some zinnias off for seed, but there's a beautiful one still in bloom. And this is where I want to be able to come back after I've actually cooked something, maybe divinity. I keep saying I wanted to do my divinity, and then either I get sick or something else comes up, and I haven't got that done yet. But it's going to happen, Lord willing. If I can stay feeling like it at all, I'm going to plan on that. But I would love to come back out and get these zinnia seeds, even if it means taking the color out, because I'd rather take it out for a short time than not have it in the garden next year. And I think this is the most of the orange zinnias, the little profusion zinnias that I have. I definitely want some of those. I love the yellow ones too, but I do have some yellow ones in front also, so I'll get some more if Lord willing and I get the time to do it and feel like doing it. I'll be out here again soon, hopefully even today. And look at this lovely little salvia. This is actually a woody salvia. You can hardly tell it right now. It's new, and I didn't really know it was here. I knew I put some around, but they hadn't done anything, and I wasn't sure. But this one is blooming and looking so pretty and so promising that maybe it'll be there next year and for many years to come. It actually makes like a little bush. It's just very pretty. While I was showing you that, I looked down, and this little dianthus is blooming. It will most likely bloom again in the spring when all this dead stuff is not around it, and you can truly enjoy it then. Sometimes we just need to feel good, and we need the surroundings and circumstances around us to help us feel good. Just like this little flower, how it got so much healthier and beautiful. You can even see all that gorgeous color now that the weather is nice. This looks like a perfect specimen for an orange, just to put it in an envelope by itself and save this one. Oh, Oklahoma, I wish you would give me cooler days in the summer so I could enjoy this and so the plants could show off all these beautiful blooms. We're at a time where we could enjoy it, but thankful also to get to enjoy it today. And I want to get these iris clipped back. I want to get all my peonies clipped back still. I want to do so much. What do you do when you have, more that you want to do than you can do? And I know you prioritize, but sometimes it's hard to prioritize when you want to get it all done. I tried one time to make time. Somebody told me you make time for the things you really want to do, and I thought that sounded good, so I tried it. But I came to the conclusion that you cannot make time. Only God can make time, and He actually only did that a very few times in the Bible, but there were a few times that He did that. But I'm pretty sure He's not going to make time just so each one of us can get everything we want done. So, we just have to do the best we can, and we're only human, so we're going to fail in some areas. I hate failing, but as long as you do the best you can, I'm quite sure you never really fail, even though it feels like it to you and it looks like it to others. But when you look back, most usually if you've done your best, really that's all that God requires. Why should we require more of ourselves? This is more of that little woody plant, and this one is a brighter red, or it may simply be because of the cool weather here and because it's new over there on the other side. But either way, it's beautiful. I like both the paler red shade and this bright red shade, and you can tell it's beginning to fill out. I think this is it may be its third season, but I think it's its second season. And I had another one here, and it was quite big and beautiful, but it died out. It lasted a long time though, so I'm trying it again, and I love it here. And while I was walking around the garden, enjoying myself and talking to you, I not only got this little orange zinnia, but I also got a whole array of different shades of pink. And I'm going to put this in an envelope and mark it shades of pink, and have this for seed for another time in the garden too. So I did do the divinity. And I think I'm going to go get some seeds still. Roaming around in the garden can make you realize that life is beautiful even when it's on its way out. There's such a beauty, and just knowing that it lived and having a record of its life to learn from in years to come. And I heard on a post from Garden Gate that we shouldn't trim our mums back in the fall if we want them to come back, and of course I do want them to come back. And I haven't been, but my main reason of not trimming them back in the fall is simply because I cannot get around to everything, and it's just more important to me to go ahead and get my this little bird is sitting up here, but it's more important for me to get my peonies and iris done earlier because they will bloom first, and because they're harder to clip back once they've gone through the winter and they've gotten all limp. The irises get all limp, and of course the peonies just get all stiff, and yet you can't just break them off. Rarely can you. You have to clip each one, so it's just better to have that done in the fall, in my opinion. So I've been trying to do that, which I do not have it all done, but I have some of it done. It's November the 3rd, and not only is the garden still here, it's still beautiful. There's more color right now, I think, than there has been in the garden all year long. Things are definitely going. They're on their way out, but until they're gone, we're just going to enjoy. This one's gone, but look, a new one, just a new little bouquet of roses. How pretty. And look at this rose right over here. It's what made me go get the camera so I could show you how beautiful things still are in the fall garden. I remember when it was just a dream to have beautiful mums all over the garden, and now I do have several colors of mums, and right now they're all in bloom and looking good. I did have to spray for those cucumber beetles or bugs that look like a green ladybug. But believe you me, they are not ladies. They are not nice. They just want to destroy everything. And I don't want them to. Until God sends a frost and takes this out, I want to be able to enjoy it. And of course, the mums aren't the only thing that are looking gorgeous right now, because some of the zinnias still are, not all, because a lot of them definitely are already gone, but there's so many of them that are still looking pretty and catching the eye. This is one of those big, kind of flat but extra large zinnias. But I was going to say, look, this is the alyssum. I know I've already talked about it, but just look how it does in the fall. How pretty. I'm so glad it made it through to shine for today. And this is the little pink annual salvia, and it is going so prolific it could probably get invasive, so I'll need to pull some of this up before it all goes to seed. And this brighter pink, that is Gara, or swirling butterflies, and it has looked great all fall season. It's looked so good, and it's still looking good today. I also noticed that while not all of these mums are even open yet, let me go to the other side and show you over there, because this is where my little dancing girls are, and all around them are the beautiful mums. There's also some pretty yellow ones right in here, and then some more of the coppery orange ones. The strawberry fields are still looking great and blend right in or contrast prettily with the mums. And I noticed that some of the roses are still looking great. Some of them are gone, but some of them are just coming on. Gathering zinnias, but I missed these. I've got to come out and get these, because what little beauties they were all the last part of summer and definitely all of fall. And this is another place where I put this more of a woody, a perennial salvia. This is the annual salvia, the one above it here, which is the pretty pale pink, but this is also a gorgeous little pink, darker pink woody salvia that's a perennial. I'm so glad it got started here. I knew I planted one here, but I thought it was gone. But not only is it not gone, it's beginning to spread around and now to bloom. Today is November the 5th, and yesterday in the early morning we got an inch and 3/4 of rain, so that's a wonderful thing. And we did not have much rain all summer long, but we did have a good early rain, the spring rains, and now a good latter or fall rain. And I think I've gotten over my reactions from my COVID booster shot. I was actually even having some chest pains again, so I don't know if they were related or not, but I just had been feeling miserable. I got to feeling better, and then I went back to feeling miserable, and I actually called my sister, and I told her I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the things I normally do for our Thanksgiving reunion dinner. And she prayed with me, and the very next day I started feeling better, and I've been going again, and I feel like I can make it now to get things done. So I'm very grateful for that. I still do need to cover this little plant and many others, and I definitely need to trim all of my irises, and I also need to trim all of my peonies. I haven't gotten any of the ones that are just out in the garden area. I got the ones in the back where the most of them are. But I need to get all these that are also just in the garden area, as well as this little area here. All along the front part of it has a lot of iris that I would just love to get trimmed back before they get all floppy and lose the ability to just cut them easily without having to search for where to cut them and maybe pull up the rhizomes. So I want still to get that done, but I think that's going to go on the back burner until I get our Thanksgiving reunion dinner finished. Look at this beauty. I was noticing we have some of these at our church too, and the red and just maroon was just shockingly beautiful the other day when we drove by there. This is, of course, a crepe myrtle. This is the bright red crepe myrtle when it blooms in the summertime. This little crepe myrtle, while it is still beautiful, you can tell it's also losing some of its foliage, as is a lot of things doing now. But a lot of things are still a pretty green too. So fall has been good to us, giving us some extra time this year to enjoy. I wish I had the time to stay out in the garden more while it's pretty, although today it's 50 degrees, and to me 60 degrees is pretty, but 50 is just a little chilly for being out very long. But as I roam around the garden today, I'm realizing that the next pretty day, at least warm enough to get out here, I've got to go ahead and cover some little garden art pieces and any actual plants that I want to try to save, and just go ahead and roll up the hoses, put them away for winter, and just try to get things all the way ready, because winter is coming. It's on its way. By the time this post gets on YouTube, winter will be here and all this will be gone. So I hope to be ready, have the garden ready for it, as ready as it can be, to go dormant and start again next year, to be ready for the 2023 garden. But I'm very glad it didn't go ahead and frost in October, so that we've had some time to enjoy the garden a little bit longer, and all the beautiful mums and all the beautiful fall colors. They are beginning to fade, but it seems like every time I've clipped back my zinnias, they put on more or opened up brighter, bigger and brighter. So I've totally enjoyed having the profusion zinnias here in this section of my seed box. And this little twin spur did not do much of anything but live, and that's always a good thing all summer long. But now that the cooler weather is here, it too is really shining in the garden. Get this color on my little oak leaf hydrangea, and I'm just so happy that this lived through the summer, and hopefully it will live through the winter again. This will be its second year, and maybe someday it will be a great beauty like my friend Susie's is. I actually do want to get the rest of these little zinnias for seed, and I know they don't look so good right now, but you can tell by this one what beauties they were. They're just a wonderful size for container, and this golden yellow is such a beautiful color to blend with, as is the lemon yellow. Yellow just kind of blends with everything, it seems like, or brings it out more when it's beside it. So I want each of these little zinnias for seed. And I love this little zinnia color. And this is on the same stalk, so it kind of goes through different shades. It turns different colors according to the weather and whether the sunlight's on it, all those things. I know I need to be busy making my candies. I want to make those first. But if I were in there right now, I'd be thinking, I wish and I need to be out there getting those pictures while I can, because they will not be there very much longer. So I'm glad I'm doing this little bit, but I am going to have to let it go. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, telling the garden goodbye and having such a long time to do it, as far as compared to some of the previous falls. So last year and this year, though, we've had some time to enjoy, and that's wonderful. If the season weren't so busy with other things, we'd have even more time. But I'm grateful, very much so, for the time that we've had, and also for the fact that we have other things to take up our time later, and we'll just get to enjoy it all. And hopefully there will be a time when we can just kind of settle in a bit and relax and look back at the pictures that we've taken and just enjoy them even more. I do, as far as I enjoy the pictures of the garden lots of times more than I enjoy it being out in it. It depends on the weather. If the weather's gorgeous, there's no substitute for just being out in God's nature. But if it's cold, or even if it's just, if it's so hot you can't stand it, or if the mosquitoes are biting, or just so many, the wind could be blowing like crazy. But you can look at the ones on the YouTube channel, and I hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am, and we will be ready to, I'll save a little bit more seeds, but I have saved a lot of seed, and like this little sign says, it won't be long till spring will be here, and we'll be starting some new magic in the garden. And here's another of the beautiful salmon pink or coral zinnias. I'm pretty sure I've got some of those for seed already, but if I get around to it, this one will come in with me too. And even as I say I've got seeds, I definitely have flowers ready to pull the seeds off of, but that will be for another day too, after I'm finished with all of our Thanksgiving reunion, running around and cooking. So, but that will be there. It won't matter if they do all turn brown and I don't know what color they are. I'll know they're zinnias, and I'll know they're beautiful.
please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.